I I don't even know if this matters or if I should be saying it like this, but I've been thinking about it off and on for a while now. It's silly, really. Not the kind of thing anyone plans to say out loud, but I guess I need to. I found out something about you, something I should have probably guessed in a way. And it's that you were married before. And God, I don't mean that in any dramatic way or like it changes anything. Not really. It's just a detail, a small one. And I've carried it quietly like it was mine to carry too somehow. And I keep thinking about it. Not like it makes me think differently of you. Not that it's a weight or a mark. Just that it's part of the story of you, part of what brought you here to me. And I love that. I love that you are who you are. And maybe I never said that before, really. Maybe I never even thought I could. It feels strange to say, and I don't want to make it more than it is. It's just I've been holding this quietly, and now I'm saying it, and it's not finished, not complete, not anything that fits neatly into a line or a sentence. Booty noticed this about you, and it's nothing really. Nothing that changes anything, but I can't stop noticing it. Maybe I've been noticing it all along, without knowing that I was. That part of you, something quiet, something that existed before me, before us, it's always been there. I see it in the way you move through the room when you think no one is watching. Like there's a rhythm only you know. I see it in the way you speak sometimes, and it's not different from how you speak to me, but it carries something I can't name, something past and present tangled together. I can feel it when you laugh, when you tilt your head just slightly, and I wonder what it's like to have carried all that before me. It doesn't bother me. I don't want it to. I think about it softly, like a leaf drifting in a slow current. I think about it and the way you look when you're thinking of things I can't see. Sometimes I catch it just for a moment, that pause before your eyes come back to me, and I wonder what shadows or light were there. I notice it in little habits, the ones you don't even know you have, like the way you smooth your hair or how you press your lips when you're deep in thought. Those small things, they feel familiar now, as if I've always known them, though I didn't, not really until now. I notice the quiet strength in you, not the loud kind, but the kind that shows up without warning. And I notice that it has history, that it comes from somewhere you don't explain and don't need to explain. I've tried in the past to imagine all the parts of you, and I realize some of them were already shaped before I came along, before I could touch them with my presence. And I don't think of it as distance. Not distance at all. It's just there. A line that runs through you and stretches back further than I can follow, and yet it touches me in ways I can't describe. Sometimes I catch myself thinking about it at odd hours. When the house is quiet, when your breathing mixes with the hum of the night, I think about you and all the moments that existed before this moment. It isn't about missing anything or wishing things had been different. It's not about loss or comparison. It's just noticing that you carry stories and experiences and little worn edges, and they're yours. They were yours before me. And somehow noticing it makes you more present, makes you more real. I notice it in the curve of your shoulder, the tilt of your hand when it brushes mine. I notice it in the way your voice softens when you say my name, and I think maybe it softens because of all the voices and echoes that came before. I notice it in the way you forgive yourself quickly or slowly, sometimes in ways I can't predict. And I notice the care you give, even when it's small, even when it's barely noticeable. It isn't about me or us or anything I can name. It's about you, just you. And I notice that I am grateful for it, though I don't always know how to say that, or even if it's the right thing to say. I notice how your eyes sometimes widen at something ordinary, like you're tasting it fully, and I notice how that mirrors things I can't see from where I stand, moments I can't imagine. I notice it in the quiet way you let me be, how you give space without meaning to, and how that space somehow folds back into closeness. I notice it when your hand finds mine unexpectedly, and it's not dramatic, not theatrical, it just is. And I notice the weight of all the small choices you've made before me, choices that shape the way your hand fits in mine now, choices that built this life that touches mine so lightly and completely. I notice it in the softness of your voice, the way you hesitate sometimes, as if holding on to something or maybe letting something go, and I can't tell which, and maybe I never will. I notice the way your laugh lingers in the air after it leaves your lips, and the way it seems to include all the laughter you've ever known, all the moments that were yours before we shared any. I notice the pause you take before answering, even to small questions, the way your eyes glance somewhere I can't follow, and the way that glance is steady, thoughtful, lived. I notice it in your mornings, when you move slowly, in your nights, when you dream quietly beside me, and I notice it in the little tremble of your hand when you reach for something familiar. I notice that all of this is mine to notice, in the sense that I carry it quietly in my chest now, and that it makes me feel something I can't quite define. Something tender, something deep, something maybe just seeing you. And I notice that noticing it doesn't finish, doesn't end, doesn't resolve. It just sits there with me, like the faint hum of a room at night, like the slow turning of the world outside the window, like the fact that you exist in ways I will never fully touch or name. And I keep noticing and I keep thinking, and it loops back on itself softly, endlessly, because noticing doesn't demand closure, doesn't need completion. It just is. And I am there's something I've been holding quietly. Not like a secret, not exactly. More like a stone in my pocket that I keep feeling, turning over in my fingers without really looking at it. I've carried it for a long time, though I didn't know I was carrying it until I realized it was there, pressing softly, just enough to make me aware. I've held it in the pauses, in the moments when I thought no one was watching, in the spaces between your words and mine. I've held it in the silence after laughter, when everything settles back down to what it was before it started. It's strange, the way holding something can feel like letting it be, like you're not gripping it tight, not forcing it to be anything, not shaping it, just letting it exist alongside you. That's how I've held this, and how I think of it now. Even as I say it, I've been holding it, and at the same time, I've been letting it be, letting it breathe, letting it rest in the quiet corners of my mind where nothing has to move or change. And somehow, holding it like that makes it part of everything. Part of the air I breathe when I sit near you. Part of the way I look at you when you don't know I'm watching. I think about it often, though I don't always name it. I think about how it sits there, soft and unassuming, like a shadow that only appears when I pause long enough to notice it. I notice it in the small things, in the curve of your shoulder when you lean back, in the way your hair falls over your forehead when you're reading something you love, in the way your eyes find mine even when they're not looking for me. I've held it in those moments. I've held it like a quiet song I hum only to myself. And I think of the moments before me, the moments that shaped you without me there, and I hold that too, like it belongs to both of us now, without needing to belong fully to either. I've been holding it in the way I notice your hands, the way they move, the way they've learned to move long before I could ever touch them. The lines in your palms, the softness at the base of your fingers, the way your hands tremble sometimes, when you're thinking, when you're remembering, when you're feeling something I can't see. I hold that image softly, like a leaf floating in a pond, like a thought that drifts through your mind and finds me without trying. And I hold it because it's yours, and because it's here, and because it makes me feel something I don't fully understand. I've held it in the quiet evenings, when the light falls just right through the window and the room smells like whatever you've been, cooking or not cooking, and I watch you move through it, and I think of all the other evenings, the ones that came before I came along, the ones that shaped you without me even knowing. And I hold that, not with longing, not with regret, not with anything sharp, just with the gentle awareness that it exists. I hold it in the same way I hold your hand now sometimes when you're not expecting it, and we just exist side by side. I've held it in the way you talk sometimes, the way your voice catches on a word you weren't expecting, the way it softens or hardens in places I can't anticipate, the way it lingers on certain syllables, almost like it's tasting the memory of them. And I hold that because it tells me something about you that I could never create, never invent, never fully reach. I hold it because it reminds me that you are not only here with me now, but you were here, in your own way, somewhere before I was, and that existence is a quiet, steady pulse I can feel if I listen long enough. I've held it in the mornings, too, when the light is soft, and the world outside hasn't begun moving yet, and the only sound is your breathing and maybe mine. I notice how your hair is tousled, how your shoulders fold just so, how your eyes half open and meet mine before they fully see me. And I hold it because I know those mornings were yours before they were mine. And holding it doesn't change that, doesn't claim it, doesn't demand anything. I just hold it. And I keep holding it when you shift, when you yawn, when you stretch, when you murmur something barely audible and it floats past me like smoke, like something delicate and uncatchable. I've held it in memory, in fragments, in echoes, in the soft curves of the day that remind me of you in ways I can't always name. I've held it in laughter that comes without thinking, in the moments when you tell me something ordinary and I realize it carries all of your ordinary before me too. And I hold it in the way I imagine you were before me, in the way I imagine you felt, in the ways you loved. And I hold it because it is yours and because it is now ours, in a way I can't define, and because I don't need to define it. I just hold it, and holding it is not about owning it, not about claiming it, not about shaping it. It is simply there with me, beside me, in the spaces where I breathe, in the quiet tremor that comes when I think of you, in the gentle looping of thought that never resolves, that never ends, that circles back to itself like a slow river. And I hold it because it makes me aware, it makes me present, it makes me feel you in the way that nothing else can. I've held it so quietly that sometimes I forget it's there until I notice your hand or your laugh or the way your eyes catch the light, and then it comes back to me, soft and sure, like a gentle tide. And I hold it and I think and I notice and I hold it aga in, and it doesn't need anything from me. I've been thinking about you quietly just now, just like this, and there's nothing I need to finish, nothing I need to fix. I'm just here, noticing the shape of you beside me, the way your presence fills the space without effort, without demand. I notice the way your breathing settles into the rhythm of the room, the small movements you make without thinking, the pauses in your voice when you're unsure, the way your hand rests without asking permission. It isn't a story I'm telling, it isn't a point I'm making. It's just you and me noticing, and the slow weight of being near you, of carrying this small awareness without name or judgment. I could stand here for hours and it wouldn't change, wouldn't need to change. And I think I'll just stay here, noticing, as long as you're here, as long as this quiet is enough, and maybe it is, I'm still here. And it doesn't ask anything, and it